Russia launched its largest air attack on Ukraine since the start of the war, the Ukrainian Air Force said on Sunday, counting more than 800 drones and 13 missiles fired at targets across the country. Authorities said it killed at least 4, including 1 baby, and set fire to the seat of government. Ukraine's Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko said it was the first time the main government building in central Kyiv had been hit. In a video said to be recorded from the inside of the damaged building, she said it showed Russia was not seeking peace and called on allies to help beef up Ukraine's air defenses. Elsewhere in the city, residential blocks were also struck, where officials said an infant's body was pulled out from under the rubble. Russia's defense ministry said it had carried out strikes on Ukraine's military-industrial complex and transport infrastructure, according to the TASS news agency. Both sides deny targeting civilians. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron after the attack, coordinating diplomatic efforts and next steps. European allies have vowed to stand by Ukraine politically and militarily, but concrete offers of assistance are still being discussed. Russian President Vladimir Putin has pushed back on calls for a ceasefire, emboldened by strengthening relations with China. US President Donald Trump said on Sunday he is ready to move to a second stage of sanctioning Russia, but stopped short of saying what that entails. Trump has expressed growing frustration with Moscow, but despite repeatedly threatening further sanctions, he has so far resisted making the move. Also on Sunday, Ukraine's military said it launched an overnight attack on the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region, saying it inflicted comprehensive fire damage. Reuters could not independently verify the report. It confirmed the location of the video released by Drone Forces commander Robert Brovdi, but could not verify the date it was recorded. Kyiv says its strikes on Russian energy targets are in response to Moscow's continued attacks on Ukraine and aim to undermine its overall war effort. There was no immediate comment from Russia.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise. While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy wild game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks closed slightly lower on Friday, with the Dow shedding almost 0.5%, the S&P 500 dipping about 0.33%, and the Nasdaq ending roughly flat. A weak August jobs report initially pushed stocks higher on optimism that the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates. But worries of an economic slowdown soon reversed those gains, says Michael Landsberg, Chief Investment Officer at Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management.
Yeah, I think part of the concern with stocks here has been, is the economy in a little bit worse shape than we thought? So I think that's the concern, obviously, with jobs being a weak number. I think people are concerned about that. They're excited about getting the cut or cuts, and now they're realizing, well, maybe getting cuts is not a great thing. Maybe we are in a little bit of trouble.
Friday's notable stock moves included Kenvue, which fell more than 9% after the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. plans to announce that use of the company's popular Tylenol medication in pregnant women is potentially linked to autism. Kennedy did not include evidence for the claims. Kenvue, in a statement, said it believes there is no causal link between Tylenol use during pregnancy and autism. Shares of Broadcom gained more than 9%, a day after the chip designer forecast fourth quarter revenue above estimates and said it expected AI revenue growth to improve significantly in fiscal 2026. And shares of Lululemon Athletica plunged sharply for a second straight day, losing more than 18% on Friday after the yoga wear retailer signaled a tepid holiday season, citing lackluster demand and steep tariff costs.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with temperatures in the upper 60s. Clear skies tonight with lows in the low to mid 40s. Tuesday, sunshine, mid 70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid 70s. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Friday, mostly sunny with temperatures in the upper 70s. That is a look at your weather forecast at 7:10. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Happy Monday, everybody.
It's a good morning and the sun is shining bright. The Morning Drill is on the air, so hold on tight. Good morning to you.
All right, happy Monday. It is the 8th day of September. Glad you're with us here this morning, coming off a really busy weekend. And got some rain in our neck of the woods. A little bit, what? I'm trying to think.
We had like a 2-minute rain shower on Friday here.
Yes.
And then Saturday morning.
Yes.
It rained a little bit. And then yesterday morning it rained a little bit. So, I mean, and not long,
No, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So, All right, and here we are. Looks like it's going to be a nice week, so
Yeah.
no complaints there. You heard just a little bit ago, Bruce and Joe with their NFL picks from Friday. We're going to go through and recap some scores for you in just a few moments. Amy's got birthdays and what we're celebrating. That's coming up. We also have a busy third hour coming up. We've got our friends from Titusville City Hall joining us, and Kelly Clark from Titusville Area Hospital making a special Monday appearance.
Holy cow.
I know. And I think she has a special guest she's bringing in this morning.
Sweet.
So they got a lot going on because they'll be on a couple times this month.
They always have a lot going on and great things. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
a lot to offer for a small town hospital.
We were busy. We got into it finally, like after months of planning, our spring soccer, rec soccer leagues got started yesterday.
Spring soccer.
Fall soccer.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Fall. I was talking to somebody yesterday about spring soccer, which is different from the fall. Fall's rec. Fall is everybody
Fun.
plays. Spring is our competitive
Travel
leagues.
Our fall soccer program is located in one location. You know, everybody's volunteers. It's such a great thing because it takes so many people to make it happen, and everybody except our young high school and some college referees are the only ones that are paid, and some people need to remember that.
Yeah. Well, it also kicked off our Crock-Pot Sundays.
It did.
So nice walking in the house and just kind of smell the food and it just kind of felt
we're ready.
like fall.
We're there.
Now we're settled in a little bit. And then of course, football.
Yeah.
Football back in a big way. Kicked off last Thursday. There's a game Friday night. You had college football over the weekend. And then, of course, a lot of really good matchups yesterday. And we'll go through. So you had Thursday night, the big kickoff with the Eagles beating the Cowboys 24-20. Friday night, in case you missed it, we were doing high school football. So by the time we got home, I had a chance to catch a replay of I just watched a couple minutes of it, but the Chargers beat the Chiefs 27-21 Friday night. Again, that was sort of that hidden game. I think it was broadcast on YouTube. Then you get into the Sunday games. Some really good games. Jaguars beat the Panthers 26-10. Commanders over the Giants 21-6. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at my.
Are you proudly or hesitantly displaying that cup?
No, no. It's my Steel City cup. Very proud.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the other big cup.
Yeah,
There's a lot less coffee in this.
Do you want more coffee?
No, I didn't say that. It might just be the right amount.
Okay.
Today,
this is not enough.
Already?
Yes.
Yeah, the Steelers beat the Jets. Great. It was a great game.
It's funny.
34-32.
Sorry.
No,
it was very funny. Like, I don't know. I never put it into like context of who they were playing until our son said something. And then Aaron Rodgers' press conference was like, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers' press conference yesterday after the game. I don't say hilarious, but
I said it was
calling
funny.
out Jets ownership and stuff. It wasn't like he just, it was just kind of funny, and I thought it was well played, but whatever. It was also kind of a weird, I was watching the game here while I was working, but then we had to go down and make sure everything with the rec soccer stuff was going okay, and so I would turn the radio on to, from here to there, and it was just so weird not hearing Craig Wolfley on the radio. Of course, he passed away earlier in the year, and it was just strange. And then I was reading last night. I was like, for the first time since I don't know, what was
1980,
80,
right?
83, something like that. That there's not a Craig Wolfley that's being talked about, or Tunch, or it was just
I think
weird.
I put it in perspective as your lifetime.
Yeah.
That's
like
when you
that.
showed me the date. I was like, that's
Something
like his
like that.
lifetime. That's all he knew.
And it's not that I dislike. What's this? Is it Rob King, the new
I have
play-by-play
no
guy? It's man, it's just not the same. Phil Hillgrove is he had this big, powerful, booming voice, and it was unique, and it just carried. It just there was a presence, and I guess I'm so sick and tired of the cookie cutter announcers with everything.
Saying the same thing.
Yeah.
And the right thing.
Yeah. So anyways, Steelers beat the Jets. Cardinals over the Saints 20-13. Raiders beat the Patriots 20-13. Colts over the Dolphins 33-8. I'm just thinking about, again, Bruce and Joe and some of their picks. Bengals beat the Browns 17-16. That was a close one there. And I'll tell you, the Bengals never start the season strong. So for them to get a win, that's a big deal, I think, yesterday. Buccaneers over the Falcons 23-20. 49ers with the win over the Seahawks. 17-13 the final. Broncos beat the Titans 20-12. Rams over the Texans 14-9. Packers beat the Lions 27-13. They dominated the Lions. Lions looked terrible yesterday. And then last night, I'll tell you what, if you went to bed before the end of the game, Ravens were beating Buffalo. Buffalo comes back and in the final seconds of the game, I believe, kicked the field goal to win at 41-40. So Bills fans are a little excited. And it got a little rough out there. I think some Bills fans kind of pushed Lamar Jackson's helmet a little bit, and he ended up shoving a spectator.
No.
What?
I mean, I get they pushed your helmet, but let somebody else be the bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Tonight, you got the Bears and the Vikings at 8:15 to kind of cap off the opening weekend here of the NFL. So welcome back.
There you go.
It was great to have you here with us.
What?
Good stuff. I think you'll probably find ratings were great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on. CBS debuted a new score bug. So,
what?
Like the score at the bottom.
Oh.
That was a big thing.
You're like the only person who knows
I am
that.
not. You go to Twitter, and it was funny because it said, see here, Fox, it's not that difficult. Because Fox debuted their new score bug during the Super Bowl, and it's horrendous. I think it's horrendous. But anyhow, yeah, so no, people were posting on X, like, see, Fox, this is how it's done, type of thing.
Got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of those other little things in and around the game that I don't know. All right, how about you? How was your weekend?
It's great. It's great.
Great. We got to see our
Jam-packed.
kids yesterday.
We did.
Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
You had football. You had football Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
You were home late.
Real quick, just a shout out to the Grove City Athletic Director. He felt horrible that we couldn't be in the press box Friday night.
But you also, their maintenance guy hooked you up, right?
Yeah, Doug.
Yeah.
Shout out to Doug down at Grove City. Yeah, so we're like, no, I think it's going to be a nice night. We have no problems setting up in the stands. And, boy, we had a good time.
Yeah.
Game was weird. It was a weird game, but
it was a weird game.
It was a weird game.
Okay.
And it was kind of weird being in the stands, but not that bad. We had so much room. And it was kind of fun. Got to see the fans. We were on, with the home or with the visiting team.
Yeah.
So with us,
I think that's what's it doesn't make me laugh. It means when you're at home, your press box is right above
the visitors.
The visitors.
Yeah.
So the crowd audio you're catching is usually their comments and
right.
and which not, they're not always pretty, but I'm sure it felt great to be with the people that were in support of you.
Yes.
So.
And you got these wonderful new bleacher seats last week.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
That were awesome, from what I hear.
You've sat in it one time.
I didn't sit on Friday.
Yeah. Oh.
The talent sat, and we brought them for the talent, and then but no, it wasn't uncomfortable, and it was fun, and the weather. It was we kept watching the radar, and it looked like. Well, one forecast said we were fine. Another forecast said it's going to rain and thunderstorm. So we took a tent, we took all the stuff, and that was the only part that was like, oh man. Other than that, it was great. It was great being out. And crew did a great job, but it was just a strange game. And then here we are, already, the march on to week 4.
You just skipped right over the back-to-back soccer game on Saturday.
Back-to-back?
Well, there were 2 games. There was a varsity JV game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we did football and then soccer.
Yeah, and then soccer Saturday morning at home, which was nice.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day for soccer.
Well, the complex was packed from 8 in the morning till 9 at night, 10 at night.
Yeah, which is great to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was packed.
It was great.
Was it
a great
a JV football game, right?
JV and then soccer
and
youth football.
Yeah.
And the weather was perfect.
And JV was a win for the football team.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the boys had a win in soccer.
Yeah, JV and varsity.
Wow.
So Carter Field was on fire.
Okay.
On Saturday. It was great.
Yeah. I don't remember anything else. There was just so much going on. Hard to sleep. And then, I don't know. Here we are, Monday.
It's Monday.
And coming off of, after last week where you had, a week ago was Labor Day.
Yeah, we should be off today, right?
We should be. Mentally, we might be.
Maybe.
This might be a tough week. Actually, there's a lot going on this week, so it should make the week go pretty fast. But
yeah.
Yeah. Bottom of the hour, we'll recap your headlines. Let you know everything that's going on in the world of business. That's coming up. Amy's got birthdays and what we're celebrating. We're going to do that here in just a couple minutes. And, our third hour this morning will be jam-packed with great guests. I believe Mr. Neil Freitas will be joining us and Kelly Clark. So looking forward to talking to our guests. And Kelly's bringing in a special guest this morning as well. So
cool.
That's coming up. All right, we can get into birthdays and what we're celebrating.
Sure.
If you'd like to do that.
Sure.
Today's the 8th of September.
It is.
And just cruising through the month already. Oh, by the way, 2 big winners in the Powerball. What was it, $1.7 billion?
Yeah. You bought a ticket. Did you check it to see if we even won like $1?
No, I don't even know what I did with it. Oh, it's in the car, I think.
Okay.
But there are 2 winners.
Yeah.
Where did I see Texas and...
I have no idea.
See, you said the other... Was it last week or the week before?
It's always California.
It is. And so now, that's in my head. Was it Texas and California or
know.
Texas and somewhere else?
I don't know.
I'll look that up while you're doing birthdays.
Okay.
But, so that's the other kicker, huh? How about winning that and I have to split that?
Yeah. We talked about you don't get as much as you think you would, but either way.
Yeah. All right. Birthdays. Who's celebrating?
Actress Brooke Burke turns 54 today. Actor Martin Freeman is 54 today.
Oh, I like him.
Me too. Actor David Arquette is 54 today. They're all 54. I'm going to shake it up though. Singer Pink is 46. And rapper Wiz Khalifa, can't even say it, is 38.
Happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us. Let's turn the page and find out what we're celebrating here today.
All right, today is Actors Day, International Literacy Day, National Ampersand Day, National Boss Employee Exchange Day, National Dog Walker Appreciation Day, National Iguana Awareness Day, National Pediatric Hematology Oncology Nurses Day, and Our Lady of Maritex Day, Pardon Day, Star Trek Day, World Literacy Day, World Physical Therapy Day, Know Your Numbers Week. And that's it.
Okay. So find something there and celebrate.
Yeehaw.
The winners were from Missouri and Texas,
Okay.
and they're going to split the nearly $1.8 billion jackpot. What?
Cash option is $800 or
What,
whatever.
Is it?
I know. I'm
That's still a
kidding.
lot of money.
It is.
This is the worst part, is now the reset. So the next Powerball drawing is today. 20 million.
Yeah, but what's the other one? Mega something something?
Mega Millions?
I think that one's up to like 500 or something.
Usually Mega Millions is the one that gets up there, right?
I think so. But I think that one might be up. I don't know. Do you want me to look? You're going to look for me?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Do my job.
By the way, the number of like financial people that have come out and said, listen, don't buy a lottery ticket. If you were just to take X amount of dollars every week, not a lot, even
Yeah.
$5, and put it aside, especially kids,
Yeah.
you know, after 20 years or whatever,
Mhm.
you're going to have, boom.
Yeah. It's insane, but you have to be able to take, even if you took at the age of 20, and I know it's difficult, not ever, like $10,000 and put it away and said, I don't need to touch this. You know, by the time you're 40, you'd have quite a nice retirement and then some. So, I mean, I know when you're 20 years old, you're trying to find, trying to find your legs in life. So taking any chunk of money is impossible, but it's crazy.
Mega Millions is tomorrow, and that's at 358.
Okay. Sorry, not quite 5.
Yeah.
It's still not high enough for me to buy.
$358 million.
Not buying a ticket.
Dollars.
I'm
That
saving my $4.
That will get you a few things in life. Quite possibly.
Some shoes.
It's a lot of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to build a whole new wing to the house.
For my shoes.
Just for your shoes.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So every time Amy buys a ticket, that's going through her mind. Like, I can get
more shoes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Coming up on 7:30 here this morning. I mentioned the weather this week. Pretty good.
It's very nice. I'm not even going to mention what you did yesterday.
Last
against
night?
my wishes.
I know. I caved.
You did. Weakling.
I caved. I turned the furnace on. It was like almost low 60s last night in the house.
Put on a sweatshirt.
Well, no. We have a kid who's like sniffling, and he's, I just thought, well, just
That'll be nice.
And I didn't crank it up. I just a little heat, just to add a little heat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is. I tried to go to the end of September into October. I tried to make it last. I couldn't. You were whining.
I just grabbed a blanket.
Didn't feel kind of nice.
Sure.
And also with the crock pot dinner and coming home, it just,
felt like the
coming
right
home
time.
to a cozy house. That's what I was going for. It's like, okay, enough's enough. So yeah, I caved and turned the furnace on yesterday, but oh well, we'll go for the gold next year, right?
October.
I know.
That's the goal.
All right. Your headlines are coming up next. Anyway, it's going to be a great week. Today, sunshine and clouds mix with temperatures in the upper 60s. And then we'll be in the 70s the rest of the week. Maybe 81 this Sunday.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Gross.
Russia launched its largest air attack on Ukraine since the start of the war, the Ukrainian Air Force said on Sunday, counting more than 800 drones and 13 missiles fired at targets across the country. Authorities said it killed at least 4, including 1 baby, and set fire to the seat of government. Ukraine's Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko said it was the first time the main government building in central Kyiv had been hit. In a video said to be recorded from the inside of the damaged building, she said it showed Russia was not seeking peace and called on allies to help beef up Ukraine's air defenses. Elsewhere in the city, residential blocks were also struck, where officials said an infant's body was pulled out from under the rubble. Russia's defense ministry said it had carried out strikes on Ukraine's military-industrial complex and transport infrastructure, according to the TASS news agency. Both sides deny targeting civilians. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron after the attack, coordinating diplomatic efforts and next steps. European allies have vowed to stand by Ukraine politically and militarily, but concrete offers of assistance are still being discussed. Russian President Vladimir Putin has pushed back on calls for a ceasefire, emboldened by strengthening relations with China. US President Donald Trump said on Sunday he is ready to move to a second stage of sanctioning Russia, but stopped short of saying what that entails. Trump has expressed growing frustration with Moscow, but despite repeatedly threatening further sanctions, he has so far resisted making the move. Also on Sunday, Ukraine's military said it launched an overnight attack on the Druzhba oil pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region, saying it inflicted comprehensive fire damage. Reuters could not independently verify the report. It confirmed the location of the video released by Drone Forces Commander Robert Brovdy, but could not verify the date it was recorded. Kyiv says its strikes on Russian energy targets are in response to Moscow's continued attacks on Ukraine and aim to undermine its overall war effort. There was no immediate comment from Russia.
Discover no-sweat savings of over $7,000 off your next Chevy truck. It's Community Chevrolet's Dog Days of Summer sales event. Our mascot Clark can hardly contain his excitement, and he's asleep, of course. This month, don't sleep on our hottest savings of the summer, including more than $7,000 off MSRP on a new Silverado, or save nearly $2,000 on hot new SUVs like the Trax and the Equinox. The Dog Days of Summer sales event. Where? At Community Chevrolet.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I needed a place I could feel cared for without the long drive. I chose Meadville OBGYN because both my sisters came here, highly recommended Dr. Kristen. Dr. Kristen makes me feel very comfortable. Like I'm family, like we're friends, very personable. My daughter Evie was born breech, and it was Dr. Kristen and Dr. Barco, and they were incredible. It was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't ever want to go anywhere else.
Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
U.S. stocks closed slightly lower on Friday, with the Dow shedding almost 0.5%, the S&P 500 dipping about 0.33%, and the Nasdaq ending roughly flat. A weak August jobs report initially pushed stocks higher on optimism that the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates. But worries of an economic slowdown soon reversed those gains, says Michael Landsberg, Chief Investment Officer at Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management.
Yeah, I think part of the concern with stocks here has been, is the economy in a little bit worse shape than we thought? So I think that's the concern, obviously, with jobs being a weak number. I think people are concerned about that. They're excited about getting the cut or cuts, and now they're realizing, well, maybe getting cuts is not a great thing. Maybe we are in a little bit of trouble.
Friday's notable stock moves included Kenvue, which fell more than 9% after the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. plans to announce that use of the company's popular Tylenol medication in pregnant women is potentially linked to autism. Kennedy did not include evidence for the claims. Kenvue, in a statement, said it believes there is no causal link between Tylenol use during pregnancy and autism. Shares of Broadcom gained more than 9%, a day after the chip designer forecast fourth quarter revenue above estimates and said it expected AI revenue growth to improve significantly in fiscal 2026. And shares of Lululemon Athletica plunged sharply for a second straight day, losing more than 18% on Friday after the yoga wear retailer signaled a tepid holiday season, citing lackluster demand and steep tariff costs. A weak jobs report rattles U.S. markets. Michael Landsberg of Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management joins us. Michael, we had the non-farm payrolls report today. 22,000 jobs added in August. That's way below the average estimate, which was 75,000. We've seen various data showing us that the labor market is slowing. But what did you make of today's non-farm payrolls report?
It wasn't a good number. I think, again, most people had expected, some weakening, but I think this is a huge drop from what people expected, which I think has led to some of this market reaction. I think the concerns are, how long does this go? And, is it something that the Fed is, in front of, or are they playing catch up again?
Earlier today, bad news was good news for stocks, which rose after the jobs report because investors saw this as cementing a Fed rate cut. But now stocks have reversed those gains. So has the calculus changed?
I think what happens is, I think initially it was, hey, we're going to get some rate cuts. It's positive. The market rallies. I think then the reality set in as, well, maybe this is the beginning of a bad trend. People wanted rate cuts because they wanted rate cuts. They didn't want the economy to soften dramatically. I think that's really the issue I think people are faced with. I don't think you can glean a lot out of one number. It shows you come to the volatility that we've got. But I think it's one of those things you got to keep an eye on. Is this a trend that continues? On the unemployment rate did bump up a bit, so it's a concern. And obviously they revised the number negative back a couple months ago. We haven't seen that in over 4 years. So there's a little bit of some storm clouds, if you will, that I think people have to pay attention to. But for the most part, we think we're in pretty good shape, earnings wise.
So it sounds like you don't see a potential recession back in focus.
We don't. I mean, we think actually growth's going to accelerate, back into let's call it the fourth quarter and first quarter of next year. We think inflation will reaccelerate a bit here. And I think that's actually, okay. The Fed never seems to be able to get it to 2. I mean, last year about this time, it was 2.44. They expected it to go to 2. We thought it would go to 3. It got to 3 and then above. We think we're in the same scenario. We got here to this kind of low point. We think we'll start to reaccelerate back up. But earnings have been really strong, Lisa. And that's really at the end of the day what stocks trade on. Earnings were up double digits again, S&P year over year, where the street was at 2%. The earnings came in nearly 13. So they're nowhere near where they need to be. I think they're too negative, and I think that's an opportunity for investors.
Well, getting back to the Fed is more now on the table, even a jumbo 50 basis point rate cut in September, followed by a succession of more rate cuts.
I think everything is somewhat back on the table. I think what's going to happen is this kind of an odd thing. The president has been pushing for rate cuts for a while. I think if you start to see a weakening in the jobs number, you're going to see the Democrats also push for rate cuts. So I don't necessarily think you're going to get 50 at this first one. I think they've been so data dependent and so slow to move. I'd be a little shocked if we got 50 right away. But I think if you get 25, and I think that if the labor number continues not to impress, I think you get more people on both sides of the aisle pushing for it, and you could see more. Typically, Wall Street exaggerates how many rate cuts you think you're going to get. We saw that before where we had 7 priced in and they got 2 or 3. So I think that's kind of what I think is going to happen. But I do think you might see some pressure if the labor numbers don't get any better.
So take us into next week when we get more inflation data with the consumer price index and the producer price index. They've been hovering, high 2s, low 3%. Is there some number where they really tick up where the Fed has to say, whoa, or is the Fed just saying, okay, inflation is hanging out there and we're now just really focused on the labor market?
I think it's probably the latter. I think what's going to happen is I think inflation might tick up a bit, but I think they've kind of switched their mandate now a little bit more towards emphasizing labor, and I think that's the issue. I think even if inflation ticks up a bit, which we expected to tick up a touch, it's not going to be that significant. Maybe if it goes up 10, 12 basis points from where we were a month ago, I don't think that's going to be a huge detractor. Now, I think what it will do, if we see it for a few months in a row, that may, what we think is going to happen is going to pause some of those later in the year cuts. But I think for September, they cut 25. I don't think anything really derails that. I think what you could see is if inflation starts to kick back up later in the year, I think that's going to be a tug of war between the Fed is what mandate are we looking at? Are we looking at jobs getting weaker? But if inflation's going up, how do you kind of gauge that? And that's going to be threading the needle for the Fed at that point.
U.S. job growth slowed sharply in August, and unemployment hit its highest level in nearly 4 years, likely paving the way for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates this month. The closely watched jobs report released on Friday by the U.S. Labor Department showed that non-farm payrolls increased by only 22,000 jobs in August. Economists polled by Reuters had forecast payrolls rising by 75,000 positions. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate ticked up to 4.3% last month. And there was at least one key revision. June payrolls declined by 13,000 jobs, the first drop since December of 2020. The last jobs report had said June's payrolls had risen by 14,000. Mark Hamrick is senior economic analyst at Bankrate.
Right now we're seeing an unemployment rate that's still strong by historical standards, but the level of new hiring is quite dismaying. And the fact that we saw contraction in a recent month, meaning a job loss, really speaks to the anemic showing that the job market is exhibiting as we speak.
All 3 of Wall Street's main indexes initially rose on the news as softening labor market conditions make a stronger case for the Fed to cut interest rates. But stocks reversed course to tumble into the red by mid-morning as concerns about a slowdown outweighed optimism about potential rate cuts. Friday's jobs report is the first since President Trump fired the commissioner of the Labor Department's Bureau of Labor Statistics, Erica McIntyre, accusing her, without evidence, of manipulating the employment data after last month's report contained sharp downward revisions to May's and June's job counts. At least 3 other reports this week confirmed the labor market slowdown, including one that showed there were more unemployed people than vacancies in July for the first time since the pandemic.
From potential rate cuts in the U.S. to how tariffs are impacting Asia's biggest economies, these are the stories to watch in business and finance in the coming week. Investors have a lot riding on Thursday's August U.S. inflation report. An interest rate cut from the Federal Reserve after its meeting ending on September 17th is priced in, but not a foregone conclusion. Some policymakers, including Fed Chair Jerome Powell, have signaled that a rate cut for the first time since December is on the table. France and the UK are both grappling with weak economic growth and uncomfortably high debt. France's Prime Minister faces a confidence vote in Parliament on Monday over an unpopular debt reduction plan. He's expected to lose, plunging the Eurozone's second-largest economy deeper into political crisis. In the UK, investor anxiety is growing over the country's ability to keep its finances under control, helping push 30-year borrowing costs to their highest levels since 1998. Britain's finance minister said she would deliver the annual budget in November, which is shaping up to be a key risk event. The ECB is set to hold rates steady at its meeting on Thursday. Markets face another guessing game as traders try to read between the lines during ECB Chief Christine Lagarde's news conference. She'll likely be pushed on what renewed political turmoil in France and the risk of a deterioration in U.S. Federal Reserve independence means for the Eurozone economy. Data from China and Japan will be closely watched for signs of how U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff policy is impacting Asia's biggest economies. China trade data for August is due on Monday. The Reuters Tankan Index of Japanese manufacturers' sentiment is due on Wednesday, which may offer clarity on how Japan is weathering the trade turmoil.
From North Korean hacks to why Venezuelan currency exchanges are reportedly turning to digital assets, this is Crypto Weekly. North Korean hackers are saturating the cryptocurrency industry with credible-sounding job offers. According to new research, it's part of their campaign to steal digital cash. The problem is becoming so common that job applicants now regularly screen recruiters for signs they might be acting on Pyongyang's behalf. 25 experts, victims, and corporate representatives that Reuters spoke to agreed the problem was ubiquitous. North Korean hackers were believed to have stolen at least $1.3 billion worth of cryptocurrency last year. That was according to blockchain intelligence firm Chainalysis. A Bitcoin company tied to President Donald Trump's two eldest sons more than doubled in value in its stock market debut. It values the sons' stake at well over $1.5 billion. Shares in American Bitcoin Corp, a Bitcoin miner, soared in its first day of trade on the Nasdaq. The company is thought to be around 20% owned by Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. Eric spoke at the Bitcoin Asia conference in Hong Kong ahead of the listing.
We love this community. We believe in this community. 90% of my time in life is in this community now.
Venezuela's government is slowly allowing the use of dollar-tied cryptocurrencies in currency exchange for the private sector. That's according to a dozen sources. It comes as U.S. restrictions on oil exports reduce available foreign currency. The Venezuelan government has referred to the sanctions as economic war.
Donald Trump on Thursday signed an order implementing lower tariffs on Japanese cars and other goods. The agreement on lower duties had been announced in July, but not yet put into effect. It cuts duties on Japanese cars from 27.5% to 15%, with the lower rate kicking in 7 days after publication of Trump's order. Speaking Friday, Tokyo's chief trade negotiator, Ryosei Akazawa, said it was a relief to finally have a deal in place. Though the tariffs remain painful, the news is a relief for Japan's critical auto sector. Toyota said last month that it expected a hit of nearly $10 billion as a result of the trade war. The deal includes a promise that Japan will invest $550 billion in the US. And Trump's order says Tokyo will work to increase procurement of US rice by 75%. It says purchases of other farm goods will also increase, including corn, soybeans and fertilizer, though the Japanese government has vowed that it will not sacrifice the country's farmers as part of the agreement. Thursday's news brings some clarity to a key relationship. Two-way trade between the nations reached nearly $230 billion last year, with Japan running a surplus of almost $70 billion. Tokyo says the deal includes a promise that it will always get the lowest tariff on chips and drugs of any deals negotiated by Washington. It also expects the 15% rate not to be stacked on top of existing tariffs. In July, the EU agreed the same baseline rate as part of its deal with Washington. On Friday, South Korea said that it was assessing the Japanese agreement, with its automakers currently facing higher US tariffs.
Well, thanks for hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together, and I think all of the companies here are making huge investments in the country in order to build out data centers and infrastructure to power the next wave of innovation. So it's we don't often get together as the CEOs of the different companies, but it's good to see everyone.
Thank you for incredible leadership, including getting this group together.
Thank you, Bill. That was very nice.
I want to thank you for including me this evening. It's incredible to be among everyone here, particularly you and the First Lady. I've always enjoyed having dinner and interacting. I want to thank you for setting the tone such that we could make a major investment in the United States and have some key manufacturing, advanced manufacturing here.
First of all, to echo the comments of Tim and others, thank you so much for getting us all together, and thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. It's a very refreshing change. We're very excited to see what you're doing to make all of our companies and our entire country so successful. The investment that's happening here, the ability to get the power in the industry back in the United States, I think this will set us up for a long period of great success leading the world, and I don't think that would be happening now without your leadership.
France's fourth Prime Minister in 3 years, François Bayrou, faces almost certain defeat in a confidence vote on Monday. It risks tipping the Eurozone's second biggest economy further into political uncertainty. And the government's collapse looks set to deepen France's paralysis at a critical time for Europe. It's seeking unity in the face of Russia's war against Ukraine, an increasingly dominant China, and trade tensions with the US. At 80 years old, Mohamed stands behind his fruit stall at a market in central Paris. He's a pensioner and former emergency worker in a private hospital. He now runs his stand not for profit, but to stay active and make ends meet.
I've worked 40 years. I get a €1,200 pension per month and my rent is €1,200. I have no social benefits, nothing despite having been here for 60 years as a Franco-Algerian.
The turmoil threatens France's ability to rein in its debt, and there is a risk of further credit downgrades looming as bond spreads widen. France is under pressure to repair its finances. Last year, a deficit nearly doubled the EU's 3% limit of economic output, and public debt was at just over 113% of GDP. The confidence vote is due on Monday afternoon. Should Bayrou fall, the president will likely face the task of finding yet another government chief capable of steering a budget through Parliament.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Going to be a pretty decent week. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with temperatures in the upper 60s. Then we get into the 70s Tuesday, mid-70s with sunshine. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-70s. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Friday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. And even next weekend, Saturday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Sunday, partly cloudy and low 80s for a high. If we take a look at the that weekend forecast past the upcoming 5 days here. 7:56 is our time. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Glad you're with us. Third hour of the program, we've got Neil Freitas from the city of Titusville, Kelly Clark from Titusville Area Hospital, and she'll be bringing in a special guest this morning, so looking forward to that. And, of course, great local programming continues on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel next hour and the rest of the day. So, yeah, lots to bring you here on a Monday, coming off a busy weekend. High school football Friday, college football, NFL football back. So, yeah, Monday Night Football tonight. So, a lot going on in that realm. And I think we got high school soccer. We're going to be not broadcasting, but attending tonight. So we'll be back in action with high school soccer in terms of the broadcast side of it Wednesday and Thursday. And we'll be on the road this Friday. Good matchup between Titusville and Conneaut. So looking forward to that on Friday on the road. So, yeah, a lot going on this week. Going to be pretty busy. But the weather looks absolutely fantastic for it. So
it does.
And then what? What else is on the agenda? I can't find your calendar you made me.
Slacker.
It's somewhere.
It's soccer.
Okay.
Football, soccer.
And other stuff.
And some other stuff.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So going to be a pretty busy week. I'm trying to think if there's really anything in the news that stood out from over the weekend. I'm sure there was something.
It's crazy. I didn't even have a chance to look.
Just to see what was going on in the world?
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's okay. It's just going through. Sometimes I'll do a screenshot if there's a headline. But you know what? Here's the other thing that's kind of nice. You've seen a lot of promos during the NFL games with the return of, fall shows.
Uh-huh.
So I think there's some shows that start this week. There's shows that we watch, like Tracker, that won't be back till, I think, October.
Oh.
I was reading a story. What's his name? Justin Hartley? Is that who's Tracker?
Sure. I can't remember his name.
He has, his own production company, and because of the success of Tracker, they're having him do create all this other stuff. And they're saying that might not be good for the series Tracker because he'll be so busy doing other things, he might not be able to come back. So, yeah, it's just if you're a fan of that show or him, you might be looking at him in a different show. So I don't know. All right, coming up on 8, we'll recap everything for you. And again, got some great guests coming up next hour, including the city of Titusville and my friends from Titusville Area Hospital. Again, great local programming will continue on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. And you can find our third hour on our website at streammedia.tv. Also on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel playlist on YouTube. So join us there.
Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said on Sunday he will be stepping down, ushering in a potentially lengthy period of policy paralysis at a shaky moment for the world's fourth largest economy. At a news conference, Ishiba said he has instructed his Liberal Democratic Party to hold an emergency leadership race. He added that he would continue his duties until the new LDP leader is elected. Ishiba came to power less than a year ago with promises to revive his scandal-hit party. Since then, his ruling coalition lost its majorities in elections for both houses of parliament amid voter anger over rising living costs. Last week, concern over political uncertainty led to a sell-off in Japan's yen currency and its government bonds. Until Sunday, the 68-year-old had refused calls to step down. Ishba had focused instead on ironing out details of a trade deal with the United States on President Donald Trump's tariffs, which have roiled Japan's critical automotive industry and cast a shadow over weak growth. Ishiba's last act as premier will have been to finalize the U.S. deal last week. That involves Japan pledging $550 billion of investments in return for lower tariffs. On Sunday, Ishiba described it as having overcome a key hurdle, saying, "I would like to pass the baton to the next generation." However, since the party does not have a majority in either house, it is not guaranteed that the next LDP leader will become prime minister. Lawmakers can nominate any candidates from the chamber, and historically, the leaders of opposition parties have been put forward for the vote.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville. Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733. For over 30 years, J. Gill Plumbing and Heating has taken pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. Our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. And with the J. Gill Service membership, you can take advantage of additional benefits like filter replacements and priority service scheduling. Plus, members get 10% off future projects. Call today to get a free estimate or ask about financing options. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online at jgillplumbingheating.com. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
211 is a simple telephone number to remember when you don't know where to go for help. Dial 211 when needing to find health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. It's free and confidential, and you'll have access to thousands of programs and services for emergency and non-emergency situations. Visit pa211nw.org to learn more, and remember, help is available by calling 211.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
U.S. stocks closed slightly lower on Friday, with the Dow shedding almost 0.5%, the S&P 500 dipping about 0.33%, and the Nasdaq ending roughly flat. A weak August jobs report initially pushed stocks higher on optimism that the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates. But worries of an economic slowdown soon reversed those gains, says Michael Landsberg, Chief Investment Officer at Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management.
I think part of the concern with stocks here has been, is the economy in a little bit worse shape than we thought? So I think that's the concern, obviously, with jobs being a weak number. I think people are concerned about that. They're excited about getting the cut or cuts, and now they're realizing, well, maybe getting cuts is not a great thing. Maybe we are in a little bit of trouble.
Friday's notable stock moves included Kenvue, which fell more than 9% after the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. plans to announce that use of the company's popular Tylenol medication in pregnant women is potentially linked to autism. Kennedy did not include evidence for the claims. Kenvue, in a statement, said it believes there is no causal link between Tylenol use during pregnancy and autism. Shares of Broadcom gained more than 9%, a day after the chip designer forecast fourth quarter revenue above estimates and said it expected AI revenue growth to improve significantly in fiscal 2026. And shares of Lululemon Athletica plunged sharply for a second straight day, losing more than 18% on Friday after the yoga wear retailer signaled a tepid holiday season, citing lackluster demand and steep tariff costs.
All right, a quick look at that forecast. Sunshine, clouds mixed today, upper 60s for a high. Clear skies tonight, lows in the mid-40s. Tuesday, sunshine, mid-70s. Wednesday, mostly sunny, mid-70s. Thursday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Friday, mostly sunny, temperatures in the upper 70s. Going to be a beautiful week, so get out and enjoy it. This is The Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Well, Neil Freitas is the city manager for the city of Titusville, coming off a busy weekend and a good win, not only for my Steelers, but for your Buffalo Bills last night. If you hung in there and watched the whole thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was close because it was 40-25 with only a couple minutes left, and I said, well, that's it, and I'm glad I didn't go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm a little tired this morning because obviously it went kind of late. So, yeah, exciting.
Well worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we're going to get into what's been going on with the city. It's been a little while since we've been able to catch up with you guys. We'll recap that. There was a meeting last week. We can go through the meeting. The agenda was posted last week in advance, so you could kind of see what was going on. So we'll get some updates there. And then what's coming up here over the next couple of weeks. But first, you've got some big news.
Exciting, but yet sad at the same time. I am going to be leaving the position here as city manager. I've been here just about 6 years, and I'll tell you, Luke, it's been a wonderful ride here in the city. Obviously, a hometown, graduated from Titusville back in '96, and so it was exciting to be able to be given the opportunity to come back here and lead the city and work with all the wonderful groups we have in Titusville, the nonprofits, the businesses, just the residents. It's been great. I feel like we've done a lot of positive things. I've seen a lot of different council folks throughout these last few years, but again, just been exciting to be able to be a part of it and be given the opportunity, obviously, to be here. So again, I'm excited to go to Edinburgh, and but again, sad at the same time because I'll miss everyone, of course, but obviously not that far away.
Yeah. And when will your last day be? Do you know? Or?
Yeah. So I have 2 more weeks. I'll be done on the 19th. It's a Friday, and then I'll start right on Monday up in Edinburgh.
Oh wow.
So no time off, but
okay.
yeah.
maybe before then, the next week or the week after, we'll get your thoughts on maybe those highlights over the last 6 years on what you're proud of and the legacy you hope to leave behind. But
absolutely,
we'll save that till we get closer. But let's get to the meeting that took place last week. Still a lot going on, and a lot of things I think you're probably trying to get wrapped up before weather really changes. And then, like mentally, I think city kind of switching gears with some things. You're going to be talking about leaf collection and all this stuff coming up. But going over the meeting last week, manager's report, what sort of things were discussed or did you bring up?
A lot of updates on different things that are happening. As you said, a lot of projects we have in the works. We have an electric upgrade up over Shady Park. We've been talking about that obviously for several months, several years, matter of fact, with using community development block grant money. So they're starting that project this week. So we're very excited about that. Also updated council on some other projects, the water well project. We've talked about that is a long, many years out as we continue to go through the drilling of the wells over at our water department. And gosh, a whole slew of things that I know we mentioned. We did talk about Gecko and some issues they had over there with a leak back in April. They had a leak at one of their pumps. We had a company come in, obviously DEP's involved, and a company come in, they want to put some wells, maybe some test wells over at Shady Park. So council's discussing that and what those are going to look like and how that testing goes. So we addressed that issue. What else did we talk? We talked about crossing guards. It's one of the things we struggle with every year, obviously with school starting. We are down 2 crossing guards. It's great to say that we've had two folks come forward. One is actually in place, and another one is going through the process of getting the correct certifications and things like that, background check and what have you. So we're excited to be able to fill those positions, as they're obviously very important.
I see a fire department Minutemen replacement on the agenda.
Yeah, we talked about that. It actually ended up getting tabled. We talked about potentially filling a position that Dustin, our public safety commissioner, would like to fill, but unfortunately that's been tabled as we actually, one of the individuals on the list actually has got injured at another job and is not eligible right now. So there's going to be some time off. So again, we'll address that, I believe, in the beginning of the year as we work through that. We also talked about the budget. One of the most important things right now is we're getting into budget season. We actually start that this week. It's my opportunity to sit down with the department heads and our finance supervisor and go over each department's budget for 2026. They essentially make a wish list of things they'd like to have. Obviously, we look back at the last few years and where we're at with things, and so we'll start that this week, and then it'll get until, end of November is when we have our first reading. It has to be presented to council, and so, it's going to be a busy time, even though I'm only here 2 more weeks, but every day is going to be busy with sitting down and going over the budget, and that kind of pretty much takes over everything as we, get things ready for that.
So I'm not sure what your role or duties are going to be in Edinburgh. It's going to be kind of strange, right?
Yeah.
You're starting that budget talk here, and then you're going to be walking into something that's been discussed probably there.
Yeah, obviously going up there, meeting with obviously department heads I haven't worked with before. They have a budget as well, of course, and so they're in their prime time, just like everyone else in the municipalities, townships, boroughs, what have you. So again, I'll be kind of doing double duty here as we start Titusville. Somebody will finish it, and then I'll start Edinburgh. So yeah.
What's the sort of the policy or the proceedings, I guess, once you're done in 2 weeks? Do we have an interim city manager that's going to kind of take the conversation over and work with budgets?
Yeah, so Tim Russell is our code enforcement officer. He'll be essentially working into that position, filling until council does their search, potentially working with a consultant, outside consultant, to try to help with advertising and just different things. Obviously, it's ultimately up to council's decision how they would like to proceed forward. But again, getting that search out there, looking for a city manager, obviously it takes time. It's just not something that'll happen within a week or two. But getting applications, reviewing them, having interviews, and it's, it could be first of the year.
Yeah.
Before you get to that point where you're ready to fill that position. So Tim will be stepping into that role.
Does council sort of dictate that, how quick they want to go on this? Do you know?
Yeah, they need to decide, do they want to review applications? Do they want an outside consultant to review those applications? And again, I think it'll be a collaborative effort to be able to, see what does council want? What are they looking for in a manager? And so those things will be discussed, and as they have been, and again, it'll take some time.
Some other things on the agenda, property sale announcement. That's, I think, Ryan Westcott, update on water well.
Yeah, city has a property up off Rockwood Drive, quite a big piece of property where a water tank is rather, and so there's a sliver of property that borders other properties that there's a resident that's interested in purchasing. So we're going through that process of sale of property. And again, as I mentioned earlier, the water well project is that's been ongoing and it will continue through the years as we have the drillers are there drilling the water wells and then obviously doing their sampling. And again, it just takes time.
I know we spent some time talking about this. Was it DEP who came in and said, hey, now there's a problem here?
Yeah, end of 2023, I think it was.
Okay.
They came in, we get it inspected every year, obviously looking over how our wells are functioning. Water quality, we're obviously always testing our water quality. And I just want to reiterate, there's no issue with water quality. The drinking water is fine, so there's no issues there. It's just aging infrastructure. You know, we have 10 wells that are all tied together. Obviously, if you have an issue with one, you have to shut them all down. Obviously, things have changed over the years, and we're trying to get with the times and be able to isolate each one of those. So if you have an issue with one, you're able to work on that or fix issues. So again, it's not a cheap project, and it takes some time. We're going through Penvest for loans and grants and what have you, and again, we were given the ultimatum to put a Band-Aid on something that's 120 years old, or, do the right thing and fix them the way they should be, and renew, obviously redo the wells. But again, a price tag comes along with that.
So DEP, do they understand, okay, this is a major project. We're not expecting this to be complete, but we do want to see you start the process. Okay, so you're not going to get fined or anything if you don't have it done by a certain time necessarily.
No, DEP's been great to work with. Obviously, they want to see what our plan is. And it's not something that needs to go by the wayside. And so, again, no, they've been great to work with. We keep them updated on things that are happening. And, they, as far as I know, they've been pleased with our progress.
Okay. Cafferland Services presentation.
Yeah, so that kind of goes along with the city manager search. Council's considering using Cafferland consultants to help, again, with the search for a new city manager, as that's what they specialize in.
There's always a couple train of thoughts here, right? There's always why don't we just see what's out there?
Yeah.
And then there's always we have good people here. Why don't we look internally? Yeah. So that's probably the conversation, right?
Yeah, and it's tough. We don't have an everyday newspaper, so they want to reach out to as far as they can. Obviously, trying to find somebody with a little bit of experience with municipal government, it's not easy to find, especially if you're just advertising locally or on social media. So again, I think Cafferland will be able to provide them some outreach and being able to get some good candidates, obviously. And not saying there isn't some here, again, but it's just getting a wide array of different resumes and whatnot.
And if somebody was watching this and they said, well, I kind of have some experience, they could?
Yeah, we have resumes coming in now, actually. We haven't even really done anything. So, if you're interested in this position, resume, cover letter, bring it down to City Hall. It'll be put in a file. And again, council will have an opportunity to review it.
Okay. Steve Carr purchased at 745 East Main Street.
Yeah, so obviously Steve was interested in some property that's over on Spring Street there, just past the Sci-Temp ball field. The city has a piece of property over there. Has had it for quite some time. And so Steve, having some rental property there, was interested in essentially expanding his property. And so he came to council asking what the process is for purchasing city property, as we are going with the property up on Rockwood Drive. So again, there's a process we go through third-class city here. And so he was asking questions about the property and obviously seeing if council would be interested in selling the piece, which certainly we are.
Senior Center Apartments.
Yeah, so our senior center obviously utilizes the senior center. Upstairs, the city has an apartment, a two-bedroom apartment that they've always had, and we rent that out to a tenant. And that lease, obviously, it's a year-by-year lease. And the lease was up on that, so again, council wanted to review that and obviously sign on to another lease with the tenant that's currently there.
Yeah, that surprises a lot of people. That somebody...
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize there's an apartment upstairs, and since I've been here, we've always had somebody in that apartment, and it's been
for a long time.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's actually a nice space.
It's a very
up there.
nice space up there. We last year put some new flooring in, updated the kitchen a little bit, and it's a really nice apartment.
All right, let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Neil Freitas, city manager for the city of Titusville for the next few weeks at least, with us here this morning. Warner's Bakery, the parking lot. This is another kind of discussion, right?
Yeah. So Warner's Bakery, obviously beside City Hall on the other side of the parking lot there, have their property, and the city owns a portion of, I guess you could call it a parking lot. and right along the Warner's Bakery building. So it's something that the city has always had, obviously, and we don't necessarily utilize the parking there anymore. It makes sense for Warner's Bakery to obviously utilize it because it's right up against their building. And so again, with Hillary, the owner, asking the questions about would the city be interested in selling or leasing or what have you. So a discussion is had on potentially doing that and what that would look like. So again, council's working through that.
Boy, they've done a nice job with that space there.
Yeah, beautiful.
Does that help when somebody comes in, when you know that they're taking care of a property or growing a business like that?
Yeah, obviously just looking in that impression of, obviously Hillary's doing a phenomenal job over there with her building and the updates that she's made. And again, it's great to see. So again, it makes it a lot easier when somebody comes in and wants to continue that onto their property as well. So yeah.
Peace pole.
Yeah, Rotary. Chris Philly came in, did a presentation on putting a peace pole in over at Founders Park. This is about a 4 or 5 foot long pole that promotes Rotary, obviously, and the wonderful things that they do around the world. And so Chris came in, gave a presentation of putting that in place near the benches over at Founders Park, kind of in front of the stage there. So he wanted to present to council what that would look like. And he actually brought the pole in, too, as well, to show council. Obviously, we passed some pictures around, but again, wanted council's blessing to be able to do that. And so that'll be installed here in the next few weeks, as we're excited about that as well. Rotary, obviously, helped donate money for the stage that was put in Founders Park and a bench as well. So we're very grateful for Rotary and what they do.
I'd imagine we're past Labor Day. The splash pad.
Yeah, splash pad shut down on Labor Day weekend. Okay. We try to extend it out when we can. Obviously, temperatures have been a little bit chilly in the mornings, and obviously with school going back in as well, it's just the right time to be able to do that. And so, yeah, splash pad is closed down. Obviously, the parks are still open, of course, but yeah, closed down until next season.
Is there any recap with the splash pad? I mean, I know nobody officially keeps track of numbers, but it seems like, especially this, I mean, again, it was really hot this summer. Like you drive by and it's always packed.
Yeah, we had, I wish we had a counter that we'd be able to see that, but I know this year was very, very busy, and folks but using the splash pad up until even past 7 o'clock when we would shut it down. There's a lot of times where we leave it open till 8 or 9, obviously through the summer months, but yeah, it was busy all season long, and again, wonderful asset here to the community for the kids to be able to use.
I think over the last couple of weeks, a lot of folks were introduced to some of the improvements at some of the parks in the Admire complex. I was just talking to somebody last week when we were down there working on fields, and somebody's like, wow, I didn't realize they paved down here.
Yeah, I was down there yesterday. Matter of fact, my boys were playing soccer, and just to see the change from last year with the parking and the room that's created as well, it's exciting to see. Again, and I look back, that's one of the things I look back in the time I've been here is the improvements at Admire. From removing some of the trees, if you recall, many years ago we removed the tree line down along the old tennis courts in between the BMX track and the softball field was kind of the start of that, and the pickleball courts and playground set and what have you, and obviously the paving has come a long way, and obviously with the new building as well, it's been great.
Yeah, a lot going on down there, and again, just the paving was like, wow, this is
big difference.
Big difference, yeah. And as you said, maybe in the next couple of weeks we can talk about some of those accomplishments that you kind of would put at the top of the list of things you're proud of. But certainly a lot going on. And a busy summer too when you looked at recapping everything. And I think Gavin was here after Oil Festival to kind of recap some of that. But your perspective on sort of these big events and activities over the summer?
Yeah, each and every year it seems like we get more special event applications to the city, wanting to utilize the parks for different events and what have you, and obviously Oil Fest, and it's crazy how fast summer goes, and the farmers market has been a great success over at Shady Park as they continue on. Hopefully they'll be able to continue into late October, obviously if the weather's permitting. So, no, we've just seen an uptick of events happening throughout our parks and in town, and it's just wonderful to see. And obviously them utilizing the parks that we have, and being able for the city to be able to upgrade those parks as well and accommodate that. And again, I bring back the electric upgrade is going to be nice as concerts in the park were a success this year, and other events that they have over there, and be able to update that electric is so important as we continue the events in the parks.
Yeah, I think another aha moment was Founders Park and how that started to come together, and as more of those pieces came together, there was more of the community going, oh, okay, now I get it. Like with the stage, the murals, outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the city continuing to upgrade that park as it move along, and again, it's just great to see.
with Founders Park, are there any other things that? Well, of course, it could always change, but are there other things planned, or is it almost
at the moment not yet? Obviously,
Okay.
for this year, it's something council can and the next manager can review some grant funding opportunity to obviously to improve that park. Again, the mural, amazing. Just the color it brings to the park, and obviously the stage, obviously as well. I think you'll see that park utilized a lot more than it had in the past.
It was in the air a little bit last week with the cooler temperatures, but that thought of fall and leaves falling. What are some things people need to kind of keep in mind as they are starting to work on or gearing up for the fall season? And raking leaves, for example. What are some things to know?
Well, obviously, the city's made a change with your yard waste. You used to be able to take your yard waste, sticks, leaves, what have you, down to our wastewater plant. We had a dump area over on the left-hand side there. Obviously, we've changed that now, and we're over at our waterworks area there. We have a recycling building. It's a newer blue building there. We have signage that goes in, so that's new for the residents to be able to utilize those areas to get rid of the leaves and sticks. One thing I will say about the leaf pickup as we get closer to that is not raking your leaves on the street. It ends up going down in the catch basins, obviously plugging up the catch basins if we have a heavy rainstorm or what have you. So again, getting it up to the curb, we have a leaf vac that's not very, it's only a few years old. It's a good piece of equipment that comes through. You don't need to bag them anymore. But again, rake them in between the sidewalk and the road. Again, we just ask you don't put them on the street.
And if you're in an area maybe where you see those catch basins piling up with leaves, maybe if you could
obviously it's the city's job to take care of those, but again, if you could just do your part, and if you see things that are piled up in there, again, it just helps when we do have a rainstorm to be able to get those, the water can flow off the streets.
You mentioned crossing guards. Is that something where somebody could still apply or say, hey, take my name just in case down the road you need somebody?
Yeah, a lot of times we need substitutes to fill in. You were using our police department, fire department, public works staff as well to be able to fill those positions, but certainly we are always looking for crossing guards if we need a sub. If you have questions or you're interested, we have applications online, or you can come into City Hall and fill out those applications.
I know, like, everybody's sort of aware when school starts, but you're not. It's funny how you don't really think about it until you're like driving through, and it's like, oh my gosh, the buses are out, and you've got to slow down and stop, and all this.
Yeah, it seems like it takes a few weeks for folks to get to realize, like, hey, don't be rushing as you're going through town. But again, there's a lot of foot traffic coming to town between all the schools, and again, it's great to have crossing guards out there to be able to help kids get across the street.
Yeah, I think there was a slight accident last week that took out traffic signal in town. What's the timeline of getting that fixed?
Yeah, so that's turned into a bigger project. Obviously, it bent the pole over. The electric box that was there is completely ruined. So again, that's going to take some time. We have Amp Electric's been there. Obviously, things are safe there now. We have stop signs on Washington Street coming both directions, and obviously in Spring Street, the light's out. So we just ask folks to use caution as you approach that intersection. We're going to try to get it as quickly as we can, but again, we're relying on others to be able to fix that problem, and we're going to do our best to keep it safe and letting folks know it's stop signs are in place and what have you. So as quickly as we can, we'll get it fixed.
Is that also an insurance thing where you got to get that finalized to figure it out so that I'm sure it's covered, right? Hopefully.
Yes. It's just going to take some time as you feel that, as you know. It's just a process.
Yeah. Well, what was it last summer, a couple summers ago, Main Street around there with some issues. Luckily, that kind of worked itself out.
Yeah, and if you look at the memorial wall, and it took some time to repair. We had an accident there, but we had to work through insurance and what have you. And again, it's just, unfortunately, a slow process.
Yeah, and that's not just a government thing for those who, government does move at a different pace, but insurance also works at a different pace because they're trying to investigate everything, get all the right pieces before things are handled. So.
And contractors are busy. They can't just drop what they're doing and jump to what you have going on. So again, we have to be patient.
Yeah, Neil, I'm sure when you make that phone call, they're jumping for you.
No, they're not. That's one thing I've
learned. Not
now. No, we do our best to try to beg them, but no, it takes time.
Neil Freitas is joining us here this morning. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, Luke, thanks for having me. This is one thing I'm going to miss a lot is being on your show and being able to give updates to the community. And...
Well, you still can because we're on in Edinburgh.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll see. Maybe we can work something out. You can go on tour and come up there maybe one day.
We'll get it figured out. You can Skype in and join us. Give us an update there.
Yeah, there we
go.
Sure,
Edinburgh would love to get some updates.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said on Sunday he will be stepping down, ushering in a potentially lengthy period of policy paralysis at a shaky moment for the world's fourth largest economy. At a news conference, Ishiba said he has instructed his Liberal Democratic Party to hold an emergency leadership race. He added that he would continue his duties until the new LDP leader is elected. Ishiba came to power less than a year ago with promises to revive his scandal-hit party. Since then, his ruling coalition lost its majorities in elections for both houses of parliament amid voter anger over rising living costs. Last week, concern over political uncertainty led to a sell-off in Japan's yen currency and its government bonds. Until Sunday, the 68-year-old had refused calls to step down. Ishiba had focused instead on ironing out details of a trade deal with the United States on President Donald Trump's tariffs, which have roiled Japan's critical automotive industry and cast a shadow over weak growth. Ishiba's last act as premier will have been to finalize the U.S. deal last week. That involves Japan pledging $550 billion of investments in return for lower tariffs. On Sunday, Ishiba described it as having overcome a key hurdle, saying, "I would like to pass the baton to the next generation." However, since the party does not have a majority in either house, it is not guaranteed that the next LDP leader will become prime minister. Lawmakers can nominate any candidates from the chamber, and historically, the leaders of opposition parties have been put forward for the vote.
New Directions Community Credit Union is now open in Titusville. They may be new to our community, but they've been serving our region since 1974, providing their members with affordable products and services. Membership is open to anyone who lives, works, worships, volunteers, attends school, regularly conducts business, or who owns a business in Venango, Forest, Warren, or Crawford counties. Visit their new location at 206 South Martin Street in Titusville to learn more about becoming a member. Best of luck to all the students and athletes this fall from New Directions Community Credit Union.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning provides residential and light commercial air conditioning services throughout the area. They understand the importance of your cooling system working properly. That is why you can trust in Vanderhoof to do the job right. Whether it's a non-working air conditioner, yearly maintenance, or a new install, you can be assured that we will solve your problem quickly and efficiently. Your home's air conditioning system is far more than just temperature. It's a complete comfort system that combines temperature, humidity, air quality, and above all, safety. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville. Titusville Market Square is home to over 100 unique vendors featuring antiques, collectibles, candles, coins, baked goods, dairy products, food items, comic books, toys, and so much more. You'll discover something new every time you walk through the door. Did we mention the selection of baked goods, breads, Clark's Donuts, and Amish pies? Titusville Market Square has you covered. Stop in to explore today. Titusville Market Square in downtown Titusville.
Our new home.
Somebody pinch me.
Somebody say pinch?
Pinch, pinch.
We mean we just bought this.
Yeah, we just bought a new house. Why are there crabs?
Don't call for pinches. Call for protection.
Hit it.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Your State Farm agent is ready to help you choose the right coverage for your new house and your car.
All right, which way to the sea?
We're in Ohio.
So is that close or?
No.
You got a pool?
No.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Ronnie Long.
And I'm Lisa Mellon.
The name Armstrong reflects more than just a company. It's a promise.
While others focus on the short term, we're building for a future that's limitless.
From the dawn of cable television to the rise of the digital age, we've delivered cutting-edge technology like our advanced fiber network that redefines what's possible.
Guided by our core values, we have proudly served and strengthened communities like yours for generations.
Fat Chad's is Titusville's premier dining destination. Come hungry and enjoy these menu favorites: T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Dive into fresh pasta entrees like shrimp and scallop pasta or our signature Asiago chicken. And don't miss our famous burgers and fish sandwiches, all served with fresh cut fries. Fridays mean prime rib specials. Enjoy Wild Game Saturdays. And on Sundays, it's our all-you-can-eat wing buffet. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
211 is an easy-to-remember telephone number for finding health and human services for everyday needs and in crisis situations. Every day, highly trained 211 call specialists provide referrals to basic human needs resources like food banks and shelters, physical and mental health, employment support, support for youth and child care programs, and support for adults and persons with disabilities. To learn more, dial 211 or visit pa211nw.org.
U.S. stocks closed slightly lower on Friday, with the Dow shedding almost 0.5%, the S&P 500 dipping about 0.33%, and the Nasdaq ending roughly flat. A weak August jobs report initially pushed stocks higher on optimism that the Federal Reserve would lower interest rates. But worries of an economic slowdown soon reversed those gains, says Michael Landsberg, Chief Investment Officer at Landsberg Bennett Private Wealth Management.
I think part of the concern with stocks here has been, is the economy in a little bit worse shape than we thought? So I think that's the concern, obviously, with jobs being a weak number. I think people are concerned about that. They're excited about getting the cut or cuts, and now they're realizing, well, maybe getting cuts is not a great thing. Maybe we are in a little bit of trouble.
Friday's notable stock moves included Kenvue, which fell more than 9% after the Wall Street Journal reported that U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. plans to announce that use of the company's popular Tylenol medication in pregnant women is potentially linked to autism. Kennedy did not include evidence for the claims. Kenvue, in a statement, said it believes there is no causal link between Tylenol use during pregnancy and autism. Shares of Broadcom gained more than 9%, a day after the chip designer forecast fourth quarter revenue above estimates and said it expected AI revenue growth to improve significantly in fiscal 2026. And shares of Lululemon Athletica plunged sharply for a second straight day, losing more than 18% on Friday after the yoga wear retailer signaled a tepid holiday season, citing lackluster demand and steep tariff costs.
Well, just a quick look at that weather forecast. It's going to be a beautiful week. Starts today with sunshine and clouds mixed and temperatures in the upper 60s. Clear skies tonight, lows in the mid-40s, a bit cool overnight. But again, those daytime highs not too bad. Tuesday, sunshine, warming up to the mid-70s. Mid-70s again on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. Mostly sunny Thursday, upper 70s. Friday, mostly sunny, upper 70s. Could even get into the low 80s by Sunday. So not quite over yet with these nice temperatures. And it looks like over the next, 10 to 15 days, we're going to have some great temperatures. So get out and enjoy it as best you can, especially if there's activities going on, things you want to do around the house, sports you want to watch, a lot going on. So get out and take advantage of the great weather. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Kelly Clark is the Marketing and Communications Specialist with Titusville Area Hospital, and she joins us here this morning, and she brought in a special guest as well. Good morning to everyone.
How's everybody doing? Good morning. Hi, Luke.
How's
How
it
are
going?
you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I brought with me Devin Zarovchek. She is our new audiologist at Titusville Area Hospital. It's a new service that we are in the process of adding. So I brought her along today to introduce her and talk about some of the services.
Devin, thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Devin Zorovchik. I am originally from Columbus, Ohio. I grew up there, but my family is from here, so I kind of know the area. We're here every holiday, so I'm really excited to kind of, I wouldn't say be back, but be here, and I am excited to get started. So
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So how did you get here? Talk about that path. When did you know that this was the field you wanted to get into?
Yeah, so I guess there's two pieces that kind of went hand in hand. My mother is an occupational therapist, so growing up I kind of knew I wanted to do something like therapy related. Originally I was looking into physical therapy actually, but during the summer in high school I was a lifeguard. I lived kind of close to the Ohio School for the Deaf, and so they would come and do like excursions at the pool, and I got really interested in sign language actually.
Oh, wow.
And kind of looked into jobs that worked with sign language. I didn't necessarily want to do interpreting, but found that audiology was something that worked with, hearing devices, hearing aids, and the hearing impaired. It also worked with populations that use sign language, and so I got really interested in kind of delving into more about the occupation. And then I had family members that were in hearing aids as well, so I just was kind of interested in how those worked and how they benefited them and those kinds of things, and so I kind of just fell into it that way.
Listen, probably a shock to know that swimming and Zorovcheks go hand in hand. There's such a rich history there.
Yes.
So it's not
I
a shock.
also was a swimmer in high school
Yeah,
too, so
right. Not
swimming
a
and water
shock.
polo.
Yeah, right. Well, so did you find that the more you got into this, or when you said, okay, I'm going to start studying this,
Yeah.
More excitement you had to continue with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So originally, in undergrad, speech and hearing go together. So a lot of the courses, a lot more people go into speech pathology. So a lot of the courses were geared towards them. There were only a few that were kind of audiology, and they're later in your coursework. So I was just waiting, and then we got to them, and I was like, yeah, these are for me for sure. I love my professors that taught them, and then got into grad school and immediately was taken with everything. And it was just really fun to be with kind of my cohort was a group of eight women, and it was really, really a great time. And I kind of loved learning everything to do with all of your hearing system and your balance systems also in your ears and kind of all that information. It was really, really great.
That's awesome. Kelly, obviously a need for that in this area, right? Because talk about how this came about.
Yes, definitely a need. So as you know, we have a new ENT specialist. I've had her on the show, Dr. Panero. She brought some new things with her. We started doing allergy testing. She became full-time almost immediately after taking that position, and we are so busy that we're adding another ENT provider.
Oh, wow.
And realized that we are also in need of audiology. So it was kind of a step-by-step process of seeing that need firsthand. So it was great that we could add this and add. I will be bringing her on as well, Dr. Policina. She'll be the new ENT provider that will work with these gals as well.
Wow. So Devin, just kind of give us a snapshot of maybe the patients you're seeing, from what age to what age, and then, what are some of those things that people should know or understand if they're struggling with hearing or whatever. Just kind of give us a snapshot of everything.
Yeah. So I can currently see ages anywhere from kindergarten to adult populations. Usually, if it's going to be kind of a younger kid, sometimes they fail a school screen or something like that and need to come in for further testing. Usually that's pretty quick. But anywhere in the adult to geriatric population, it could be anything. Like if you're having an ear infection and the ear, nose, and throat specialist needs to work with you for that to place tubes in your ears or do drainage or you're on antibiotics. We do pre and post testing for those kinds of things. Or if you're having any difficulty kind of with your hearing, usually we would do testing and see if you're a candidate for hearing aids and kind of go forward in those spaces as well. That's generally the most that I'd be doing is kind of just the diagnostic kind of side of for children, are you hearing the way that you should be, or just anyone in general, making sure that we're kind of going over if there's a hearing loss, what that means for you and what next steps are.
How often should you be checked for your hearing?
It depends. Typically, like with younger children, usually they do a school screening. Typically, I would say every year. Sometimes it doesn't happen that often. And then with adults, if we're testing and you're within normal limits, usually if you're starting to feel like, ooh, like I'm hearing, like saying what more, or asking for repetition more, then you can come in and be tested. If you have a known hearing loss, usually we say every year just to make sure that nothing's changing.
And there's some normalcy there, right? Like if your spouse is talking to you and you choose to ignore them.
Yes.
That's okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
A lot of selective hearing kind of going on there. We do get people coming in and saying, oh, I can't hear my wife from 2 rooms away. I'm like, well, yes, that's completely normal.
Okay.
But
or if
you
you're in
guys
the
are
shower and
next to each
somebody
other,
chooses
right?
then to talk to you and you're washing your hair and it's like, can you
Can't
just
hear
wait
anything.
till I get out?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's completely normal.
All
But if you were like sitting kind of next to someone and you were like, oh gosh, I'm not picking up on what's being said, that would be a time to kind of come in and check that everything's going okay.
Normal to, as you get older, to start hearing less and less?
Typically with age, you do kind of start to see some loss, usually starting off in the higher frequencies. And that is what provides clarity of speech. So people saying, oh, I can hear that you're saying something, but I can't quite make out what it is. That's generally a sign that we're starting to show some age-related hearing loss.
I see stuff pop up all the time with, what technology is doing. What has changed since you've started to now, just in your field and with technology? Are you seeing some pretty amazing things?
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of new developments that have been coming out, especially in terms of speech and noise. So that's where people generally have the most difficulty, is anytime there's background noise and they're trying to have a conversation, it's really, really difficult to kind of weed out the noise in the background and focus on that speech that you're trying to hear. A lot of manufacturers have come out with some technology where it kind of reads that background noise and tries to completely kind of remove it and really boost that speech signal. And there are a few manufacturers that do a really good job of that, and patients have a lot of good outcomes with those. So that's a big change that's been recent in the past few years that I've seen where we're like, wow, it's really a clear signal that's coming through for people, whereas previously it was kind of hard to distinguish between like a noise in the background, that kind of sound wave versus like a speech sound wave. So it kind of all got amplified, which is not what we were going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, in recent years, it's been a really good kind of advancement in that area.
What were some things that made you say, yeah, you know what, Northwest Pennsylvania, Titusville Area Hospital, yes, that would be a great opportunity?
Yeah, I think I just was really interested in kind of the hospital setting. I really enjoy, I wouldn't say faster pace, but it sounded like there was a need for someone to come in and kind of be working here with both the ENTs, especially Panaru. She has a busy schedule. I was really excited to kind of see, a diverse patient schedule. So, and I knew from being here, even just on the holidays, that there was a need here. We talked about it before. And I kind of was just interested in seeing kind of how I could help people out.
Yeah,
So,
it's great when you can think, boy, I could make a difference.
yeah.
Now, and Kelly, maybe you can chime in, when it comes to those services, can they call the office directly, or do they work with their primary care physician? Do they work with a specialist? And then how do they find you in the whole chain of things?
So it can happen several different ways, really. You can start with your PCP, maybe let them know that you've been having some issues with hearing, and they can send you a referral to the ENT or directly to Devin. Also, like she had mentioned, the school hearing tests that are being done, a lot of those referrals will go directly. Would they go directly to you or directly to the PCP? not sure.
It could be either. I know previously, sometimes they came directly to me, or they could go through the PCP.
Right.
Like Kelly said, there's usually a few different ways. They could directly schedule, I think, through, there was a phone number or general scheduling.
So her direct line to schedule, if you wanted just to call and do that, is 827-9770. So we are still in the process of setting up all the equipment. There's a lot of equipment that is required for audiology. So she'll have brand new equipment, everything new and updated. Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, so that was a big push to make space for that.
Is that at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's actually for anyone that is familiar with the first floor, where physician services, there's a ton of specialty services there. So it's kind of getting crowded. So what we are using is the first hallway. So when you get off the elevator, that used to be where Dr. Ferrer was, the OBGYN Associates of Erie. So we are redoing that entire hallway and making that hallway dedicated to ENT and audiology. So like I said, there'll be some new equipment that's actually being put in right now. So she'll be ready to start taking new patients as soon as that equipment is ready. But you can go ahead and call the office, and they would have an update of when you can go ahead and get those appointments scheduled.
That's great. Boy, that's really exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Our friends from Titusville Area Hospital with us here this morning. Kelly, we got a lot of other things going on, too, that we want to mention real quick.
We do. So the Titusville Lions Club is hosting a rural healthcare services seminar. It will be on September 24th. So anyone is invited to come to that. It's for the public. It starts at 2 o'clock. It will be at the Titusville Library. It's right on Main Street. And there'll be some providers from Titusville Area Hospital and also the provider that takes care of the Titusville Health Center and the Titusville Health Center, Laura Divins, will be there. I will be there. Megan Miller, she's the practice manager and oversees all of those rural health clinics, will be there, and also Charlie Gates. And really just talking about different things that we are doing and the community is doing to reach those rural areas, and what changes are in healthcare, and really just a good way to make contact with the community and again see what those community needs are. Like we talk about so much, how do you decide what the need is, and things like this is a good indication of that.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time talking about how you kind of discover those needs, whether it's patients filling out surveys or doctors saying, boy, it'd be helpful to have maybe this. And I think the big takeaway is your comments, your feedback, they don't go unnoticed. You guys go through them, you look at them, you obviously you act upon them a lot of the time, not all the time, but yeah, it's great to know that people are listening.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So yes, so that will be happening. We were excited to be asked to come to that and speak at that. Like I said, the Lions Club will be hosting that, so there'll be a panel set up. They'll be asking a lot of questions of the panel, and also afterwards there'll be time for the community to ask any of the members to, answer any questions that they may have about, the future of our rural healthcare here.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah. So I'd also like to touch base. We brought neurology here recently. Amy Kaufman, a neurologist, she is at Meadville Medical Center, but she has a lot of patients that she sees that are Titusville residents and closer to this area. So she started having office hours here in Titusville to kind of alleviate that travel for the patients that were doing a lot of travel to see her. And she's also seeing new patients here as well. So if there's something that, you would like to see a neurologist but didn't want to travel, I did just want to mention that we do have her here a couple days a month having office hours. If you would like to schedule with her, you can call it's a Meadville number, it's 333-3929, and just let them know that you would like to be seen in the Titusville office.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so something new, adding a lot of services. Like I told you, we have another ENT that will be joining us. We also have dermatology coming very soon. She will be starting beginning of January, probably, we hope. Yeah, so that was also a big need. That everyone is going to be very excited to have dermatology brought closer to home instead of having to travel outside of the area.
So look for that coming soon.
Coming soon.
Crawford Gives was last month.
Crawford Gives, thank you everyone that donated. Those monies went towards our new renovation of our outpatient therapies, which includes physical therapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. We have a really, really great new things that are going into the new facility. The new building that we are renovating will be the old Rite Aid building, and moving all of those entities into the Rite Aid building. Adding a pediatric sensory room, which is definitely, we talk about needs, I know so much, but it is definitely a need in the area, and it will be the first one in our service area. I think the closest one is possibly Erie. So right here directly in our service area, it will be the only one. So we're excited to be able to bring that. And in the PT building that we will be leaving was where our new regional dental clinic will be. Opening
that's very exciting.
In July. Yeah.
That's coming fast.
It is, yeah. So that will be opening in July and will really offer a lot more access to care for the folks here in the area.
All right. And you'll be back with us next week.
Yes.
So
I'll be back next week, and I'll be bringing some Penny representatives. So anyone that, is maybe unsure about healthcare right now. We have 2 representatives coming on with me next week. They're going to be offering a ton of information, and it's for anyone that's currently uninsured. Open enrollment is coming up in October, so that's coming very soon. And they offer a lot of free services, doesn't cost anything, to get an appointment with these girls and talk about your options for healthcare. If you're self-employed, if you don't meet the requirements for access, they can get you hooked up with some Penny insurance to get you covered for the new year.
And real quick, if you go to the Facebook page, it seems like every day there's posts of updates and lots going on. Welcoming McKenna Cole, somebody that is known in our area, but she's back. And
McKenna Cole, we added her to our Oak Street Pediatric office. She joins Dr. Maria Munoz and Dr. Diaz. So she has been working alongside them for quite a while, and now is starting to see her own patients. So if you're looking for a new provider for your kiddos, she's now taking on new patients. She is phenomenal, really great, fits in so well in that office. Katie Vincent is there as well, and they just have so many kiddos there that they take very good care of.
That's right. And then, of course, just a reminder, looking for a local healthcare provider, Will?
Yes, so that's Lara Divins, and she takes care of, like I said before, the City Ute and Tionesta clinics, and she will be at the Lions Club talk that's on 9/24, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So she'll be covering some information about different things that they do in that office. So since it is a rural health clinic, we try to offer a lot of services there. So they have vaccines for kids there, which is free vaccines for anyone that meets those guidelines. They have blood draws available on most days that they are open. And so you don't even have to be a patient there to get your blood drawn there. And it's really just to help the community, and so they don't have to travel outside of the area.
Awesome. And then October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We can talk more about that later. Devin, I want to give you final words here before we wrap up this morning. What should somebody do if they're like thinking, okay, yeah, I think I'm struggling a little bit. What's that push to call your office?
Yeah, I feel like it's always good to have a baseline either way. If you're not noticing any difficulty and you've never had your hearing tested, if you're noticing like little things that are happening, anytime is good to come in and get a baseline. It's always better to have the information and kind of know how things are going, and then do annual testing from there. Or if you're starting to have more difficulty, then you know, oh, this is where I started and this is where I am. So you can even see the progress of that as well. So we're always open to people coming and kind of checking how things are going.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks so much.
Awfully exciting. You'll have to come back and give us an update on everything.
Yes, I would love to.
All right, Kelly, good to see you too. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks, Luke.